And so without further ado, let us say hello. Is she there? Big Time Bex in the house?
She is here.
The pride of Limerick?
She is here.
Wow. How...
She doesn't sleep very much these days. You know,
This is a huge honor. I was just sitting here vamping, wasting time. This is so cool.
It is so cool. I'm delighted.
Look how cool you look.
I do look pretty cool, don't
Yes, look at those glasses. Oh my gosh.
They make things a little bit dark, so I'll take them off.
Okay, thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
This is great. We're live right now.
We
I
are
hope you know.
live right now. We're live on the MMA Hour.
Yes.
So appropriate that I be on the MMA Hour now that I've dethroned the golden girl of MMA. Well, now that was a few years ago, but I've held this title ever since.
You have.
I'm talking about Ronda Rousey.
Of course.
In case anyone
She's a big fan of mine.
Not a big fan of mine.
Okay, good, because that gives us something in common. She's not a big fan of mine.
Oh, she's not a big fan.
Yes, that was a joke.
Yours.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You guys are actually friends.
No.
No?
No.
Don't you have the same agent, Brad?
Yeah. And I haven't been getting anything. She's getting everything.
She is getting
No,
everything.
I'm kidding. Brad's the best.
He is the best. But are you guys not friends?
No, we're not friends.
Come on.
We're not friends.
Are you working me right now?
No, I'm not working you. Would I work you, Ariel?
No,
We're friends.
We are friends. We are friends. It's great to have you here. Thank you for doing this. I know you're being pulled in a million different directions. You got Survivor Series this Sunday. I was just talking about it. There is a main event. Your match is the People's main event.
The People's main event.
That's what I like to call it. The first People's main event was that man against Marcus Brimage back in 2013. That's when I came up with this term. Now everyone uses it, but I came up with the term People's main event, meaning not the main event, but the one that the people are excited about. So when Conor made his debut against Marcus Brimage, I said, that's the People's main event.
That is the People's main event, and this will be the People's main event. And the People's champion,
yes.
the new People's champion, will destroy Charlotte Flair.
Okay, so we'll get to Charlotte, but I do want to take a few steps back if we could.
Yes.
It's been almost those glasses, by the way, remind me of the Bret Hart glasses, sort of, from back in the day. Kind of.
Maybe a little bit exaggerated, maybe a little bit bigger.
I love it, and I love the evolution of the character. We'll get to that as well. But around 2 years ago, almost 2 years now, you took the time off. You made the announcement. You were emotional. You were becoming a mom.
Yes. Yeah.
How is motherhood?
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. It's been incredible. It's given me so much purpose and so much fulfillment in my life. And it really puts perspective on everything. You stop sweating the small stuff, and you realize that once I've got this little baby in front of me and she's healthy and she's happy, then that's all that matters.
Did you always want to become a mom?
Always.
You did?
Yeah, I always wanted to become a mom. Yeah. And so it happened sooner than I would have thought. But it's been the best thing. It's been the best thing that ever happened to me, hands down. And I know everybody says that about being a parent. You've said the same thing to me.
Yes.
But you don't understand it until, and that was one of those things, because you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be like to have a child. And so I was so worried that, what if I don't connect with her? What if these things? But then she just came into the world, and I've never felt a love like it. It's amazing. And she comes everywhere with us. She's a little trooper. She's been to the UK twice. She's been to Saudi Arabia. And
what? You took her to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, because I'm a psychopath. But no, so I breastfeed her, and I've never left her for more than a night. And even when I left her for a night, I tried to put her to bed and everything like that. She's not the world's best sleeper. So I tried to put her to bed and then tried to get back as early as I possibly could so she wouldn't even know. So there was no way I could do 5 days without her.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't think that she could have done 5 days without me, because she doesn't take anything else. She's not a big bottle drinker or anything. So, so my little buddy came with me. It was great, though. She slept the whole way over there. She slept the whole way back. Didn't sleep the night we were there, so that was a little bit touch and go before we had the show. But yeah, she's great.
Someone's going to come in, I think, to fix your mic. I think the mic may have fell. Frank's going to come in. This is the beauty of doing live television or live. So Frank's going to come in. Sorry about that. I think it's your coat. Your lovely coat is.
Is that better? I heard somebody talking and
Yeah.
throwing me off in the
It was Frank. He's a little rude like that. He just likes to to jump in. Oh, this is better. Yes.
This is much better.
Thank you, Frank. Oh, Frank struggling under the pressure, under the hot lights here. You getting nervous, Frank?
You go, Frank.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
And so I made a joke about I've not been getting anything. No, the truth is I took maternity leave,
Right.
and so I wanted to stay out of the spotlight. And so graciously my team helped me with that because I wanted Brad being my
Yes.
team because I wanted to stay away because I wanted to concentrate on being a mom. And then when I came back, I do everything for the pop. So
Right.
I wanted to be out of the limelight so that people would forget about me, so that when I came back, maybe it was a bigger impact, and I think it's worked quite well.
They did pop. I will say you were somewhat successful in staying away. You did tease us a few times. Come on.
I did tease. I got a little.
You did tease us a couple
You know,
times.
so sometimes I'd want the little ego rub.
Yes.
You know, the people still care. Okay, they care. All right, bye.
And you would hear your name, I would imagine, sometimes being chanted.
Yes.
Do you think that rubbed some people the wrong way?
Oh, definitely rubbed some people the wrong way.
You loved it though.
Of course, I loved
It's a reminder that you're still relevant, that they still care.
Yeah.
So you're sitting at home probably smiling.
Yeah.
Are you in the back? Are you traveling with your husband is Seth Rollins?
Yeah.
Are you with him at this point? Like at the events when they're chanting your name, when it seems like it's inevitable that you're coming back in the summer.
So sometimes I'd be there. Sometimes I would travel because talk about a tale of two different worlds. We split our time between Iowa and LA.
Wow.
And so if I was going to LA, I'd probably go with him to the show and then on to LA, and then so that we could mostly travel as a family as much as we could. Yeah.
You like Iowa? Nice pause.
Iowa has its perks.
I mean, I couldn't imagine two more different locales.
Yeah. It's very low key.
Why Iowa? He's from there.
He's from Iowa. He has a wrestling school there, which worked very well for when I was coming back, because I was able to train so much.
Okay.
And he has a coffee shop there. And
He owns a coffee shop.
He owns 2 coffee shops.
Wow.
Yeah, great coffee shops.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out 392.
That's what it's called?
392, yeah.
392 only in Iowa?
Only in Iowa, yeah.
Plan to expand?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
You'll have to get him on. and
I would
ask
love
him
to,
about it.
yes. Colby.
Colby, yes.
One time you referenced Colby to me. I thought you were talking about Colby Covington. I felt like an idiot.
Yes, no.
Definitely not talking about Colby Covington.
Certainly not talking about Colby Covington. So the coffee's great.
Okay.
So I get great coffee, free coffee when I go to Iowa, and I drink a lot of coffee.
Yes.
And so it's great that I've been able to train there and have a wrestling school. So anytime we're back there, I'm getting back in the ring. And
I would imagine Iowa's a lot more
Chris.
like Limerick than...
weather-wise, yes.
Weather-wise.
Weather-wise, and probably city-wise. No, I never lived in Limerick. Well, I lived there till I was 1.
Oh.
But I was born there, and then I moved to Dublin.
Okay, so Dublin's really home for you.
Dublin's really home for me.
When's the last time you've been home?
Christmas 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you been able to see your family?
So, my brother came, because we did 2 tours of Europe, UK.
Yeah.
My brother came over the first tour to help us look after the baby.
Okay.
That was the first time he met.
Wow.
Met Rue. And then my mom came over the second time. And so that was her first time she met
way.
her grandbaby.
At this point, she's how old, your daughter?
Nearly a year, 11 months.
And she met her 11 months later.
Yeah.
Because this just happened, right? It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks
wow.
ago.
What was that like?
It was amazing. Oh my God. It's like they knew, they knew they were blood. She instantly was attached to them, and it was so helpful for us too, because you're trying to do media appearances and wrestle and be present at the show so that you can help everybody out, and once you're able to hand her off and know that she's going to be fine and looked after, and my mom was in her element. I even got a nap.
Wow.
I even got a nap.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
Was it hard to give birth in those early days without having your mom there? Are you like some people love to have their mom in those early days? Was that difficult for you?
Gosh, I've been living away for so long, and I talk to my mom a lot. But I've been used to to being over here, and these are the sacrifices you have to make to chase your dreams sometimes. Is that I haven't had my family around for a long time, and it is hard. And certainly when Rue was real young, and you want that help, and you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
There's no guidebook. I mean, there's lots of books, but Ma's no better, you know.
Right.
So that was a bit tricky, but yeah, no, I think it was definitely worth the wait, because now she's at that fun age where she's running around and she has opinions about this. She has opinions about things. She likes this. She doesn't like that. She points to things like this, which is really cool. I love that. She's like a little queen.
Yes.
This is what I want.
I mean, she sees her mom dressing like this. I wonder where she gets it. When you were like, you know, everyone kind of maps out their life, their career. I want to have a family at this point, that point. Was the plan always to have a family in the midst of the career, like when you're at the top, or was this kind of a diversion of the plan?
I mean, this was a bit of a diversion of the plan, but man, life's one of those things. Well, life's what happens when you're busy making other plans, right? And so, I didn't know that it would happen this soon, but I think it happened perfect timing too. Like the men and women that had to work through the Thunderdome era. Yes. Gosh, that's hard. That's hard, and I came up from the indies, so I'm used to not working in front of people. And we had a few shows. We had WrestleMania 36, which wasn't in front of anyone. But it is hard when you don't have that audience. It's like you're missing a scene partner essentially. Yeah. So it's hard. So I missed a tough time, and I came back right when the fans were back, which was awesome.
Couldn't have scripted it any better, to be honest.
Couldn't have scripted it any better.
I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of FOMO, right? Like there were never a show where you're like, oh, I'm missing 50,000 people. WrestleMania, for sure. That was the one.
That was kind of the one, and then there was Money in the Bank.
Yeah, then they came back in July and you came back in August. But it was like a whole year with nothing. Yeah,
but even still, then you still miss the sport.
Right.
And so I'd watch and you know, if I didn't like what was happening, I was like, what's this? And if I did like what's happening, I was like, I should be doing that, you know. So it's tough. It's tough being out of it, especially when you love it so much. And I'm a person who likes to go and likes to do things, but also who is trying to think of the long game of what's better. Is it better that I just stay out of the limelight until I'm ready to fully go? And I thought that was the better option.
When you announced that you were taking time off, was there any part of you that thought, I may never be back?
Little part. So, but not because I didn't want to come back, but because I didn't know who I would become. And so I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to be so determined on one way or the other, because I wanted to let life happen to me and see, is this going to be, once I am a mom, am I going to feel like I want to go on the road and I want to be away, and will I want to try and travel all over the world with a tiny baby, and will I even be able to figure that out? And so I wanted to leave my options open. Mostly I wanted to come back, but I was still open to maybe I'll change so much that I won't want this anymore. Maybe I don't know what I want anymore.
When do you start to realize, I actually do want to come after giving birth? When does it hit you?
I mean, gosh, because for the first 2 months you're just, what is going on? Yeah. You know, and you're so enamored, and then it's like, okay, let's go, you know.
But I mean, you only returned like a year later.
I returned 8 months later. I was ready to return at WrestleMania. Really?
Really?
I was kind of hoping. I was like, WrestleMania is a good time. That'll be 4 months. So body will be back. And so I was ready around WrestleMania time, but it didn't work out. And I think it worked out for the better.
Did you make the pitch?
I had pitches. I had a couple of pitches, and I had one pitch to me. Which would be an interaction with Bailey, who at the time was, the all-star of the pandemic era, of the Thunderdome era. So it would have been great to do a little something with her. But We can wait now.
Right.
We'll wait again. We'll wait again.
And so was the plan always for you to return as a heel?
I wasn't aware of that until quite recently.
Okay.
And so I thought to myself, well, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way that Vince would want me back as a heel because, I'm a new mom.
Right.
Left on top. It's a comeback story. I had all these different comeback pitches of, falling and trials and tribulations and Rocky montages. And then and then it was switched to, well, we want you back as a heel, which I understand it. Once you're at the top, once you've accomplished everything, and we have all these new people coming up, chomping at the bit, then well, one, it gives them a giant mountain to overcome, and two, it's something that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen me as.
Did you push back initially?
No.
You were into it.
Let me see how this will go. Let's work with this.
Okay.
Let's work with this. No one will see it coming.
Whose idea? Obviously, you come back as a heel. You can't be the man, right? You can't have the same. Clearly, you're amping things up. You have a different persona.
So,
you have a different look.
Yeah. That was my idea that I want to be everything that I wasn't. So. Whereas the man was understated. She'd never back down from a fight. She told things like it was. She was very to the point, and now Big Time Bex is over the top. Mm-hmm. If she feels like fighting, she will. But maybe today isn't the time, and she'll use nefarious means if she has to. Whereas the man was always true and right and righteous, but now, I'll do whatever it takes.
I would imagine when you debuted, the plan was already in place to make you a heel, right? Even prior to that moment that you walked out, right?
Yeah.
In other words, the reaction was so split on your return match, right? People were offended. There was venom. It was like, oh my God, she's back. And then literally 5 minutes later or 26 seconds later, they were mad. They felt like Bianca was disrespected. How dare you waltz in there and bury her like that? Yeah. But this was all part of the greater plan to get people to hate you, right?
Yeah.
When you went back and you saw some of the reaction, are you laughing? Are you like, oh, they're falling for it? Or are you saying, gosh, this is a little new to get all this hate. How did you feel?
Well, it's new. It's new to get all this hate, But if they're hating me, then I'm doing my job right. So it's one of those things where you always got to, especially when it comes to social media, you got to go, okay, they're hating on Becky, they ain't hating on Rebecca Quinn. So
okay, you're able to separate that?
So most of the time, okay. Sometimes, like when people start criticizing your art, more so, or like. Then that's different. You put your heart and soul into this, and so when people tell you that you're no good at it, and you're like, "Well, what are you good at?" But then you got to go, "Well, what are you good at? Shut the hell up."
Right.
What I mean? But it is new, but it's great because people are feeling one way or the other. As long as people are feeling one way or the other, and they're not apathetic, that's what you want.
If you can do it again, would you do it again the same way?
As in
the 26-second.
26. Well, I mean, look. I didn't book
I know, but you feel like it was the right thing to do?
I think it works. And so what I would have done is I just never would have given Bianca a rematch. I just never would have given her a rematch.
Okay, that's even more heat.
Yes. I would have never given her a rematch. And I would have tried to avoid every single way that she would get a rematch. And I would have kept that going for a long, long time, probably till WrestleMania. And then we'd see what happens at WrestleMania.
Okay.
But we've left the door open, so we'll still see. We'll still see how she makes her way back to that title.
Now, I'm assuming you're enjoying this, right?
Yeah.
It's been 2 months. You like being the heel?
Yeah.
You don't miss the old persona? Oh.
So
a little bit.
Well, I can kind of bust it out whenever I want to. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I busted a little bit of it out on Monday night.
Yes, yes.
If anybody was tuning in on Monday night, I busted a little bit out, and then I switched and flip the page, and so that's something that I can always go back to. But for now, this is an exploration of something new, and that's exciting. To sink my teeth in and find different motivations and different ways to get under people's skin and different ways to elevate myself and other people, and it's an exciting opportunity.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, because when you're a baby face, when you're a good guy, it's all about you, right? And so being a heel, you make it look like it's all about you. But really, the end goal is to make sure that people want to see that good guy beat the ever-living crap out of you at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And so that's exciting. That's exciting because we have such a fresh group of talent coming up, an extraordinary group. I'm so excited about everybody that I have to face. And there's a lot of good guys in that, You've got, you got Bianca, you got Liv Morgan, you've got Rhea Ripley, you got Tegan Knox, and I could just go on. There's a real exciting group of people that I have to face.
How'd you feel about moving from SmackDown to Raw?
So I loved SmackDown. SmackDown is kind of where I feel is my home because that was the place that I got drafted to first. That's where I won my first title. I was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. And then coming to Raw, though, this is where I held the title for the longest time. This is the title that I gave up to go and have my baby. And now I have it back. And so it's exciting. It's one of those things where sometimes, to be perfectly honest, Raw has suffered sometimes in the last few years, and so it's an opportunity to really build that show back up and make it the coolest thing on TV, and that's always the goal. That's what I strive to. It's how do we make this not miss TV? How do we make this so cool? How do we get the stories that people just have to tune in? They can't miss anything, and for the whole show. And so. It's hard with a 3-hour show, mm-hmm. but I think we can get there. I think we'll get there.
What's been the difference? Like, I agree with you. I think SmackDown has been the better show. I don't think anyone would disagree. Why? Why is that? Why is it better?
It's the extra hour, and so which is great. 3 hours of wrestling show is awesome. It's awesome. It's also hard to You watch Titanic. Titanic's a long movie. Right, it's what, 3 hours, 10 minutes?
Right.
We're doing that every week.
Right.
We're doing that every week. And so 2 hours seems like the perfect length for a wrestling show. And when you add an extra hour and it's late, then it gets hard to do that. But I think you see it some weeks that we're building momentum and it's going to be awesome.
I would love, if I had my say, no one cares about what I have to say, but I would love if they got rid of the split.
The brand split.
Just keep it all, back in the late 90s, everyone was under one umbrella, and it was great. There was enough time. There was less hours, right? There were less hours back then.
Less hours.
Raw was a 2-hour show. SmackDown was a 2-hour show. There wasn't NXT, all that stuff. I don't think you need that. I think they created the split because there was no competition. And so they had to create competition between Raw and SmackDown, allegiances, Survivor Series, they meet. But I don't feel like I feel like we've evolved from that.
That's
what do you think?
That's interesting. I guess I've gotten so used to it being the way that it is. I don't know. Maybe you're right. But maybe not.
Should I call my friend Nick Khan and tell him this?
Sure, yeah.
We're good friends.
You're good friends.
Yes. He used to be my agent.
He used to be your agent?
Yes. Oh, I was not joking. You thought I was joking when I said that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
for like
great.
5-6 years.
Yeah. And
I could call him right now.
And then he came to us?
Then he came to us and left me in the dust. Yeah.
He said, hell with you, Ariel. I'm going with big Time Bex.
I don't blame him.
So, I don't know. That's a really interesting theory. I haven't really thought about it.
Well, what's interesting about this card on Sunday is that you're seeing some of that mix, right? Where you have Roman against Big E, you versus Charlotte. So now I know you, I feel pretty well. I mean, we're not the best of friends, but we've been talking now on these interviews for the last few years. So shoot with me straight here. What's going on with Charlotte?
We don't like each other.
Legit.
We don't like each other.
Why? You used to.
Yeah, we used to. And so I'm sure she would give you a different side. And I'll give you my side.
Please.
Is that my star was rising. We were the best of friends, and it all worked when she was on top and I was below. And we could all see the way things were going in 2019. Like, people were really behind me, really rallying behind me, and this turn would turn me into a different league, and I don't think she couldn't take that, and has never been able to take it since. And I think it's affected her work. Even now, I think it's affected her. I think she's potentially one of the greatest, but I think I'm so in her head that she's lost it a bit. I think she's lost a step, because she's got that jealousy, and she's got that just that little devil on her shoulder, and that devil is me, always being one step ahead of her, and she doesn't like it.
So you think she's jealous of you?
Yes.
Do you think it bothered her when she?
I think she thought her birthright was she's the star. She
Right.
is the star. Doesn't matter that I started wrestling when I was 15 and left home and traveled the world to chase this dream. It doesn't matter that that I was never one of the chosen ones. She was born into this, and she deserves it.
Right.
WrestleMania main events should be hers by birthright, and so and I think that's her thinking. I think we know where she gets that thinking from, and so she hasn't been able to take it.
When she's out there and people are chanting your name,
Oh, it pisses her off so much.
and you love it.
I love it. Yeah, because it's under her skin.
It felt like she was getting, and again, just from watching, it felt like it was getting to her. It was getting to be annoying for her.
Of course it was.
And she even, I think, acknowledged it at one point.
Yeah. She gave the crowd the finger, and
Yeah.
then said it was because they were disrespecting Rhea. No, she don't care about Rhea. She cared about herself. It was her own ego that was hurting her.
You used to be very close. Best of friends?
Yeah.
Dare I say, 4 horsewomen, all that stuff?
Yeah.
You guys
Best
were
of
tight.
friends. Yes.
Is this awkward for you now?
Extremely.
Would you rather not be working with her?
I also like money, Ariel.
Yeah.
And so this is money, and people are interested, and I love that people are interested, and I love that people don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if this is going to be just an all-out brawl. I don't know if this is going to be just venom behind every move. I don't know if we're even going to be able to get to the match. I don't know if there's going to be a fight backstage. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. And I think that's exciting for me and the audience. Probably nerve-wracking for the office.
A few weeks ago, there was a report that you guys got into a bit of an altercation. She dropped the belt. You felt disrespected by that. You guys were supposed to swap belts. Is that accurate?
Well, there was a plan in place that was supposed to go one way, and if it went one way, then everyone would have had a moment, and it would have been great. And I in the back said, this isn't going to happen. She's going to do something else. And she did exactly what I'd said that she was going to do. And so, because sometimes things can happen out there, and people can get carried away in a moment, and you don't really you don't have time to process what happens. But when I knew that there was going to be purposefully, she was going to purposely disrespect me. I processed it a lot quicker, and so I was able to hold it together until I got backstage. I did what I was supposed to do, and then when I got backstage, I lost it a little bit.
What happened?
I lost it. I just
lost it.
I lost it.
Verbally or
I said
physically?
something. Verbally, I had to go out and do the dark match right after. So,
God.
So I verbally lost it. I still had a match to go and do, so I didn't have time to be scrapping in the back.
Verbally lost it to her or to other people?
To her.
To her. And when you have a situation like that, do you get in trouble? Like, does someone talk to you? Does someone say you can't do this? How's that received?
I mean, people were talked to, but at the end of the day, I was right.
Right.
I was right, you know?
So what bothered you? That she dropped the belt?
The way that it was all handled. And so I would have to give you the whole story. And
we got time, Becky.
Yeah, I know. But look, it was supposed to go a certain way. And when I saw it happening, I was like, I knew it. And I told people beforehand that this was what was going to happen. She was going to make it really hard to do this angle, and then it happened, and so I just lost it. I lost because I was able to process it, because I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do my thing, and that and there was just no need for it. There was no need for it, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about me. It was about Sasha and her getting into something. And so I was like, what is that? This is just stupid. This is just ridiculous. Like, we need to go out there and be able to trust each other, because that's what this is. We need to be able to trust that one person is going to do what they said they're going to do, because otherwise we'll be doing this, you know? But we're not doing this. It's professional wrestling, and it's a beautiful art. It's a beautiful art that I love, and I love it more than anything, and I love it for what it is. It's telling stories through violence, essentially. And when somebody goes out and you can't trust them to do what we've agreed on doing, then what are we doing? Because our bodies are in people's hands. What we do is extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. And we're trusting somebody with our lives. And this, okay, obviously this segment wasn't trusting somebody with our lives, but it's the meaning behind it. And so when it's happened with other things, and I just need to be able to trust somebody. And when it happens to other people, maybe they can't say something, but I can say something, because I'm not scared.
Is she difficult to work with?
Yes.
Would you rather not? Like, are you dreading this? Are you hoping this is done after Sunday?
Yes.
Is this going to, like, at some point you're going to have to get on some kind of page, right?
We'll see.
How difficult is that going to be?
Well, we'll see.
Are you worried she's going to try something on Sunday?
Well, that's what her dad says you do.
Right.
So.
How do you feel about some of the things that he has said and written?
Look, I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
The one that you're referring to. The one that I'm kind of referring to. And I looked at it, and I wrote out a response that would have really been quite biting. And I deleted it, and I let it go, because I think it's really sad. Because this is a legend at one point, who's now this legend, 16-time world champion, Ric Flair, is now jealous of me, and it's cool. It's cool for me, and is now trying to use me to get clout, you know, to promote whatever he has going on next, because he's dug himself into a hole with other things. So I kind of just was like, let me let him at it, because it's kind of sad. You know, it's kind of sad. He's pretty. I don't know. Anyway,
she did an interview with BT Sport recently, and you retweeted the clip.
Yeah.
Where she said, "Oh, it's because I'm a woman," and all this stuff, and you wrote something to the effect of, "No one speaks like this.
Nobody acts like
this."
No,
what did you mean by that?
Because people do. Everyone else's business.
Right.
Nobody just cares about themselves. They care about the segment. They care about how everybody else looks, and they work together. You know, nobody else does this. There's no other guy on the roster. There's no guy on the roster, and there's no girl on the roster. Everybody else, when you work with them, you know it's going to be easy. You know that we're going to go and we're going to make magic, and we're going to do some fun things, and we're going to get the audience feeling a certain way, and we make the show because it's a show, and that's what we do. And so no guys or girls act like that. Nobody. So you can't say, oh, it's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a woman. No, it's because you're an asshole. Sorry.
Are there a lot of people backstage who are saying, like, thank you, Becky, for saying this. Thank you for putting her in her place, for sticking up. You know, maybe other wrestlers who are not in your position.
Other wrestlers, other members of the crew. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's like that to the production, to to the staff.
Yeah, man. Like, so yeah, there's been a lot of patting on the back, you know, because some people feel like they can't stand up.
Right. So you're a heel on television, but you're a face in the locker room.
Yeah, I guess so.
A baby face, dare I say. Is there any part, like, there's legit, like, I got to tell you, I'm psyched for Sunday now. You are doing, intentionally or not, a tremendous job of promoting this. And I'm not saying that you're not being genuine, but, you know, there's always, anytime, look at Conor and Nate, right? When there was conflict, no one cared if there was a belt on the line. They just wanted to see the conflict resolved in one way or another. I'll be there, by the way, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Awesome. I'll be looking out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Is there a concern that because this is somewhat of a tango, the match will suck because you two aren't on the same page, because you don't like each other?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Of course there is. Kind of saw that a little bit with Charlotte and Nia at one stage. Is that when people don't work together, it can go badly, and it's like, it's not good. It's not good. You're watching for the wrong reasons. And so that could happen. That could happen. Like I said, that's the thing. It's also what's very exciting about this. Right. We don't know what's going to happen. It can either be, it'll either be one way or another. It'll be can't miss.
Have you ever been in a position like this before where you truly disliked the person that you were wrestling?
No.
Never.
19
years in the business. In fact, you just celebrated your anniversary.
Yeah. 19 years since my first match. No, never.
Wow.
Never.
That's got to be awkward, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, except for Rhonda.
Right, exactly.
Except for Rhonda.
Yes, exactly.
Hate her.
Yes. I have said on this program, and we just have a few minutes left. Thank you so much for the time. This is awesome. Pro wrestling is on fire right now.
Yeah.
It is very interesting. Dare I say, it hasn't been this interesting in 2 decades. I wish MMA was this interesting in some respects, because I think competition, rising tide, lifts all boats.
Yes.
There was a scene just a couple weeks ago. I'm sitting there on a Friday night, and I'm watching you, and I'm watching CM Punk at the same time. And it's happening, this is like Monday Night Wars, but it was on a Friday. It's fantastic for the fans, right?
Yeah.
How in tune are you with what's going on?
Oh, I watch everything.
Everything.
I watch everything, yeah.
Do you subscribe to that notion? This is good. Competition is good.
Competition's great. Competition is great, yeah. And it's great for the creative, because I think it drives everybody. I think Vince works incredibly well when he's pushed by competition, and I think for the stars, it gives options. If you don't like vanilla, you can go with chocolate. If you don't like strawberry, you go with butterscotch. So there's options for everyone, for fans, for wrestlers, and yeah, it's great.
Do you consider them competition, AEW?
I consider them an alternative.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to put it. I consider them the alternative. They're just different. Their product is different than our product, and so we offer a different product than they do.
But you watch, you're up to speed with what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important to know.
Of course.
And
I think it's important, and if you love this, you try to be in tune with everything that's happening,
right.
Because then you know what people are doing, what people are not doing, and so it's one of those things where we're all wrestlers, we all love the sport, and so sometimes we can come up with the same ideas at the same time, and so it's important to know, well, is somebody doing this, is somebody doing that? How do I be different in this giant sea of content? Because there is a lot of wrestling on TV right now.
Do you feel like there's too much?
I don't think there's ever too much. Like, you don't say, well, there's too many police shows or whatever, You just, if you like a police show, then you watch some police shows. And you love when there's another police show. Or you like, whatever it is.
Right.
So I think if you love it, then you tune in. I think, though, it can desensitize you to what good wrestling is, because we see so much. And so there's so much good wrestlers out there. So you can have a 5-star match on Raw that gets lost by Tuesday, because there's so much good wrestling on TV.
Speaking of which, a lot of great wrestlers have recently left WWE for one reason or another. Is there one or two that you're like, man, I wish it didn't work out like that. I wish they could have figured out a way to keep them.
Yeah. There's some. I'm very close with the Iconics. Very close with Lana. And so there's a few that I was very sad to see go.
How hard is that? You're with these people on the road, right? Almost 300 days a year, and then all of a sudden you're on totally different schedules. Hard to keep in touch, I would imagine.
Well, because you see each other more than you see your family. Luckily, my family is all with me. But, I see them more than I see my actual family. And so when they're gone, that's a huge void. And for a lot of people were gone while I was out. And so when you come back and you know that they're not going to be there, it's sad.
We have seen relationships born out of pro wrestling, right? And there's often, I think, a desire to match the real life couple on television. This has gone well and hasn't gone well historically. Would you rather not be in an angle or storyline with your real life husband?
I mean, the last time it went really well. Nothing.
Which one are you referring to?
When it was myself and Seth.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in history, right?
No, when we were both babyface. I know it just like our characters at the time didn't work that well. I think now it might work a little bit better.
You also weren't married back then, so right?
Yeah, but that wasn't that. Yeah, and God, actually, it was very, very, very quick into us getting together. But
were they trying to end the relationship by doing that? Haven't they done that in the past?
No.
Let's put these guys on TV to end this real quick.
No.
Come on.
No, I don't think so. What? Really?
Right, listen, you're the one in the business.
Yeah, but
I'm just the mark
didn't know this.
Here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes you guys know more. But no, I don't think so. I think they got very excited. Like, oh, this will be cool. This is something that people that won't see coming,
right.
And these are two top stars on our show, and maybe seeing them interact will be interesting. I think now with our characters, it might work a little bit better. It would be easier, but I don't think we need to go there.
Okay.
Certainly not now, anyway. We both have enough things going on right now.
Sure, it does make sense.
Competition.
Your personalities are similar. You're eccentric. The attires are fantastic. His suits are. He never wears the same one twice, by the way.
No, he does not.
What does he do with them?
Oh my! There is just so many suits everywhere.
Unbelievable.
So many suits everywhere.
Does he have a suit guy?
Yes, he does have a suit guy.
Okay.
The same guy who also does my outfits, King Troy, who is awesome. Big shout out to Troy.
King Troy.
Yeah.
What a legend. Does he work for WWE?
No, he doesn't work for WWE. I would love him to work for WWE. And I'll tell you, so when I was coming up, I was just a little alternative kid. I don't know how to dress like a freaking person that's on TV.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, now obviously I do. But I would have loved that. I think I would have loved somebody like Troy to help me and to style me and to, I think everybody needs those things because you've got this certain talent, whether it be wrestling, talking, whatever it is. This industry is an incredible thing. It's an amalgamation of all these different elements, and so sometimes things can get neglected. And we're also very, very busy. So to have somebody who can find us clothes and style us with their own different personalities would be, I think, a great addition.
Well, I love the suits. Please tell them on my behalf. Before I let you go,
of course.
Recently was the anniversary of the famous scene with you, the bloody nose. Yes. You're standing up there. That changed everything for you, right? Would you imagine?
So
the trajectory of your career?
Yeah. I suppose it gave an image to... But everything was going that way.
Yes.
I think sometimes people go, oh, that's when it all changed. But... that's what put me into the WrestleMania main event because otherwise we would have had that match at Survivor Series, that match that we still haven't gotten, by the way. And so I would have faced Ronda at Survivor Series, and then who knows what would have happened. But the crowd was so there before that. But then it just really helped to elevate to another level.
Do we ever get that match? You and Ronda?
You ask Ronda. She's your friend?
She's not gonna.
I thought she was your friend. No, she's not your friend.
It's like me and Ronda is like you and Charlotte. Apparently, there's heat there. By the way, it's a misunderstanding, a big misunderstanding. I'm the face in this scenario. I'm the one who's been wronged, if we're being honest.
Okay.
I've been stabbed in the back, dare I
by
say.
Rhonda.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So if you let her know, there's a lot of people who are saying there's an unsigned talent out there right now, hottest on the scene, cutting the best promos in the business that needs to either go to WWE or AEW. I'd like to see them go to WWE just because I feel like it's the bigger platform right now. Helwani is this person's name, just cutting promos left and right. I don't know if you've seen any of his work, but it's just fantastic stuff. Some people have tried to wrong him. He's dropping 10-7s. You've seen this?
I see. Yeah. I have.
What do you think of the promo skills?
Yeah, I think quite good.
Quite good, yeah?
Quite good. Yeah. Maybe they should keep talking for a living.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't want to be a boy in the back. I want to be a manager. I want to bring back the manager.
Oh, there is something special about a manager.
I love the old school.
Yeah.
I grew up with Bobby the Brain and Slickster and these guys, Mr. Fuji, Lou Albano. These are my heroes. So I think I could bring something to the table. What do you think?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You'll put in a good word.
I'll put in a good word.
Okay.
For you and Troy.
Yes. Troy first, take care of your guy, but then Helwani. I mean, I'm a little pricey if I'm being honest. So there's a bit of a, negotiation that
All
needs to
right,
happen.
okay, all right. We'll see what we can do. We can do.
Survivor Series.
Maybe I'll ask Colby if he can sell some suits or something, bring you in.
Oh, I'm not saying you have to pay. I'm just saying,
I mean, you
Vinnie
can
Mac.
pay for your manager,
Right.
you know what I mean?
That's
you
right.
gotta pay
Oh,
for
you
the
think I'd be
manager.
good with Colby?
Well, I don't know where you fit. I'm just saying, I'm looking out for you. I'm
Okay,
looking out for you. I'm trying to see if there's a slot available.
I appreciate it. I can't wait for Sunday. Fantastic stuff. I'm a little nervous. Actually, shades of Survivor Series 1997 in Montreal.
Yeah.
Which I was in attendance for, by the way. My big claim to fame as a youngster, 15 years old. Montreal Screwjob. I'm from Montreal.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
Wow.
I was at the Bell Center.
Did you know what was happening?
I had no idea.
You didn't know what was happening. You just thought that was...
What
You
happened
thought that
was
was
someone
the
was
end?
telling me like a little bit on the side, and he's like, watch Brett. And so when they went off the air, he started smashing all the monitors, remember?
Wow. No, because they went off the air.
Well, but there is footage of this, and he does the WCW with his hands.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It was amazing. So I went home that night, and that's when I really started to get into the internet. Like, there was a website, scoopswrestling.com, and all, and I read...
That was right at the beginning of the
97, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually what really got me back into pro wrestling, because all this. And then there was a documentary that came out, Wrestling with Shadows. Please tell me you've seen this. It's one of the all-time great wrestling documentaries. You've seen Beyond the Mat?
Yeah.
Wrestling with Shadows is better, in my opinion, because
I don't think I've seen
he had a
it.
crew
Have I seen
following him for a whole year.
I don't know.
Leading up to that point. And so this crew had unfiltered access, backstage, everything. When he signed the new deal, when the deal was taken away, when he punched Vince, it's in the documentary. You got to watch this. It's called Wrestling with Shadows.
Probably have. My memory has gotten so bad in the last few years. I partially blame motherhood.
Sure,
Yeah.
lack of sleep.
Yeah.
But if you have some downtime, which you probably don't, check it out.
Yeah.
Wrestling with Shadows,
Okay.
starring Bret Hart, the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's
Male,
fantastic.
greatest female of all time.
Fantastic.
Becky Lynch.
Yes, you're right.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming by. This really
My
means
pleasure.
a lot. I really appreciate it. And maybe we'll do a post-match interview on Sunday. There's a
would be
rumor
great.
that I'll be in the back doing that.
Oh, there you will be.
There's a rumor.
All right. Well, maybe see you there.
Yes.
Maybe see you there. We'll see
Thank
how
you so
this
much.
goes. Maybe I'll be
Keep it up.
carted out in handcuffs.
And don't let her
We don't
stiff
know.
you any potatoes or anything like that, all right? If you need anything, I got your back. I'll be behind the rail over
Be
there.
back there with a bag of spuds, would you?
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Becky. Take care. Good luck to you. What a legend. The pride of Dublin and Limerick, dare I say, stopping by. Tremendous job in promoting that. If you're not interested in Survivor Series 2021 at this juncture, I don't know what to tell you. Phenomenal.